has the biggest influence on retention in the organization? Managers. Because when someone quits, they usually don't quit the company, they quit the manager. It's that interaction between the manager, supervisor, whatever you call them, that will either attract and keep or run them away.
And when they call me up and says, Greg, we would love you to come speak to our executives about leadership in the 21st century. And we'll either be glad to flight. Mic check. How many mics in the room? At least it wasn't my zipper.
A determined person. We like that. A losing determined person, but she is a determined person. Mary Jane, what you gave up was a new Dell laptop computer.
I heard you.
John's the man.
I'm really sorry.
We could have been in Aruba.
Now, I thought this was a conservative state. That is, drum roll, please. Mary Jane, your prize is whatever Greg picks. Greg's choice, and Greg picks a copy of his book.
That's embarrassing when you know three things about Greg Smith. Number one, I am an Eagle Scout. And it's even more embarrassing when you realize I was a lieutenant colonel in the Army. And it's even more embarrassing when you realize I own a company named Charter Course International. And I'm here to talk to you guys about managing change.
Identify unspoken needs that their guests have. A knock on the door, about 8 o'clock. And I open the door, here's Justine. And in her hand, a piece of chocolate cake and an icing that says, Happy Anniversary. Now, that wasn't my unspoken need, but it was my wife's. I mean, that's why this one hotel in Lexington, Kentucky has something called Bowling with Turkeys. They don't line up the managers. No, I don't mean, no. They take a 12-pound frozen turkey near Thanksgiving time, wrap it in duct tape, and then they'll line up empty wine bottles at the end of the loading dock in the back of the hotel and have a contest who could bowl the best with the frozen turkey. And whoever wins gets a real turkey for Thanksgiving. You say, well, how does that improve productivity? Well, if you're dealing with a younger workforce, they like to do things like that. And they talk about it all year long. They say, hey, can't wait till the frozen turkey contest comes along and we're going to beat customer service department. You know, they tried to beat us last year, but we're going to beat them. Those are the things that have changed today. Going back to what worked yesterday may not be the same thing that works tomorrow.
Well, there says, Greg, would you like to come to Jekyll Island and speak, and we'll fly you down, or you could drive your car. And I said, well, that would be a great opportunity for me to take Kathy, my wife. You know, we've been married 33 years, and she doesn't get to go with me very often. And so we got up in the morning and got in our car and started driving, or I started driving to Jekyll Island. And I drove, and I drove, and I drove some more. And I drove some more. And it must have been the 6th hour when Kathy turns to me and asks me one of those questions that spouses tend to ask their husbands. Do you know where you're going? She asks me that a lot. I mean, and I realized in my haste I had forgotten the name of the hotel I was going to. I had left, you know, my information back in the office in Conyers, but being the leader that I was, I decided to stop at every hotel along the way.
Generation Y is 17 years old and younger. Generation X is 18 to about 32. And they do expect things differently. Number one is they want a good compensation package. They want to be paid well. And if they feel their friends are getting paid better in another company, they might be next to leave. They want to work with a cohesive work team, meaning they want to like the people they want to work with. If there's an organization that has a lot of friction among the team members, that will run them off. They want challenging work assignments. They want to begin with the same amount of responsibility that your CEO or president has.
Turnover's highest first 90 days on the job. You will lose an employee if you don't have an effective orientation process. So the first 90 days, they pay particular attention to the new people. They ask them, did you get the training that HR promised you? Did you get the uniform? Does it fit? Does it make you feel like a proud employee? And when they started focusing on the new employees, turnover dropped by 50%, saved them hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because the other thing they did is every manager is required to have a development process for every employee. I don't care if they are an hourly employee. They are equal in all eyes. They are just as important to me as the top paying executive in an organization. You take care of the troops. The troops take care of you.
I never saw my father again. But before he died, he had started me in Boy Scouts. I was Cub Scouts, went to Boy Scouts, and when we moved back to the States after he had passed away, I stayed in Scouts here, right in Atlanta, Troop 550 at a Catholic church here in DeKalb County. And I was working toward Eagle Scout, 16 years old, 2 merit badges to go, and I decided I was going to quit. I think something called females got my attention more than Boy Scouts. And I'd gotten in a lot of trouble. My mother had remarried my stepfather. In fact, we had a father-son cookout, and I remember asking my stepfather, would he go with me? And he said no. He didn't want to go to the father-son cookout. And that was one reason I started losing interest and quitting, got in trouble and doing things I shouldn't have been doing. But my scoutmaster, whose name was John Winterode, who was a service technician for an air conditioning company, called me up and said, Greg, if you quit now, you'll regret this the rest of your life. And I went back, and John Winterode helped me finish the last 2 merit badges. And I remember the night they pinned Eagle Scout on my chest. It was the proudest night of my life. Not because I earned it, because John Winterode helped me earn it. He was a service above self leader. 20 years went by. I wrote my first book called The New Leader. Hadn't talked to John Winterode in 20 years. And through that 20 years, that Eagle Scout Award became more important to me and more valuable to me than any medal I ever earned in the military, any degree I earned in school, because of what he did for me. The night before the deadline was due to finish my book, I opened the pages in the Atlanta phone book and found one Winterode in the entire Atlanta phone directory. And I knew it was time to give my respects to what he did. Called up the phone number. And I'm not exaggerating. My hand was trembling. His wife on the phone. I said, is John there? This is Greg Smith. I used to be in his Boy Scout troop. And she says, oh, Greg, it's great to hear from you again. John will be really proud to hear from you. And the shaky old voice gets on the phone. And I tell John, what you did for me meant everything in the world. In the front cover of my book, in the dedication, it says, this book is dedicated to the 2 most important men in my life, my father and my scoutmaster, John Winterode. Ladies and gentlemen, you're here for a purpose today. You're here to become better at what you do, to become a better technician possibly, to reunite old friendships. But we have to remember is this, that we're not just in the service business, we're in the service above self business. I hope you have a great conference, and God bless you.